Hello guys, and welcome back to End All Wars with our Eastern Entente playthrough. Now, we've already done the entire turn in the previous episode, and this is the final turn of our initial war plans. After this, it really opens up and our objectives become more limited and more free-form. We've accomplished some of what we hoped to accomplish, but there's a lot of fighting going on and a lot to be expected of this upcoming turn. So let's hit end turn and see how it goes. Alright, so the pieces are moving, and the Austrians have once again assaulted the fort at Ivangorod, and oh god, what just happened? For some reason I got sent to the main menu, and well, the whole turn replay just... what the fuck? Okay, well, the turn replay just exited out randomly, so I'm just gonna hit proceed to next turn again. Oh, and now there's a battle. I don't know what the hell's happening. I'm pretty lost. I've been staring at this screen for a little bit now. I'm now at this weird point where I can move around the map like nothing's happening. The loading bar isn't moving, and I can hit end turn again. And I can say I'm fairly confused, seeing as I've already done like a 12-turn game as the Western Entente, and nothing like this ever happened. I guess I'll hit this again? No? Nothing's happening? Okay. Not even the back to main menu's responding, so... I guess this is, some kind of crash, yep. And if I show you this, it says several errors have been generated, and the application is stalling. Please reach the AJOD support form and post the game logs located here. No. I guess I'll restart the game. Okay. It seems to be working. Seems to be, yeah. We got an even worse result this time, but essentially the same. Another Austrian assault on the Ivangorod fort. This time wiping out everyone in the fort and undoubtedly taking the province. Shame, because we had a better result. They didn't completely wipe out the fort last time we rolled ourselves into this, but he lost, wow, 15,000 men, 130 cav and 24 artillery just doing this. Huh. Well, that's good losses anyway. Of course, we did completely lose this fort, which is a shame. But it already held on much longer than I thought it would, so that's good. This music is also just so fucking loud. Jesus Christ. This is the music that boots up every time you start up the game, and it's completely different in volume to the rest of the music in the game. And we can see our troops are all moving around. It looks like there's a German commander running around behind our lines somehow. And we've almost gotten through the whole turn and only the one battle so far. Interesting. Is that going to be it? Oh, I guess that's going to be it. No more battles, just one battle that we lost. Hell, this commander's gotten all the way back to Kauno, one of our forts. Just somehow completely getting past all of our troops. It's not like we have a whole lot here. Hell, I'm even recruiting... what is this? A Baltic infantry here. Because I totally did not see this coming. Like, what is this guy even doing here? I guess we're going to have to send someone, or, you know, this army in general, to deal with him. Okay, so that wasn't the most eventful turn, but I've gone ahead and done what I'm going to do. I haven't looked at these events yet, so let's take a look. The Kaiser's gold to Turkey. In the years before World War I, Germany and Turkey grew closer together. On 2 August the 2nd, I guess, 1914, while still affecting public neutrality, they signed a secret military alliance, and when the cannons started roaring in Europe, Turkey quickly demonstrated her support for Germany, once it had received evidence of Germany's good intent, that is, 2 cruisers and 5 million pounds in gold. So the Ottoman Empire shifts 10% alignment towards the Central Powers. I know the background behind this. The background behind this is that the British did not deliver 2 battleships, 2 kinds of ships, to the Ottomans, for which they had ordered and already paid for, because number one, Britain wanted to use it in the war for themselves, and they just quite frankly didn't trust the Ottomans. However, this did speed along the Ottomans into joining the Central Powers. Who knows how it really would have gone if Great Britain kept to their word. Let's take a look at the next one. I know what this one's going to be. The Anglo-Japanese Treaty. This is Great Britain with the Japanese. Originally signed in 1902, the Anglo-Japanese alliance was originally designed to keep Russian ambitions in the Pacific in check. Reaffirmed and expanded after the Russo-Japanese War of 1905, it served as a catalyst to bring the Japanese into the Great War against Germany. In return for their aid in rooting the Germans out of their Pacific holdings, the Japanese gained control over most of the previous German colonies in the Far East and strengthened their position against China on the mainland, which hereby caused Japanese imperialism, their conquest of Manchuria, their invasion of China, and the Pacific theater of World War II. Thanks, Great Britain. Thanks. Effects. Japan shifts 50% in alignment towards the Western Entente, meaning, essentially, if they're not already in it, then by the next turn, Japan is going to be in the Entente. That's just a given now. Now the Neutrals blockade. Almost immediately after the outbreak of hostilities, Great Britain imposed a blockade on Germany in the North Sea. It was extended to include inspections and seizures of any neutral shipping that was suspected of aiding the German war effort. This measure was not popular in neutral nations, but helped to tighten the grip on the Central Powers. So the blockade is checked twice a turn instead of once. US, Italy, and Ottoman Empire shift 5% away from the Entente. So that's a shame, especially the Italy part. But this really happened. In fact, before this happened in real life, the US was actually great friends with Germany and was selling them weapons and just being the good arms dealer that they're supposed to be. However, this stopped the US from being able to sell to the Central Powers, which led to the US selling to the Entente, which is the single action that ended up turning the US and Great Britain from enemies to allies, in my opinion. Let's take a peek over here. So as we can see, the German conquest through Switzerland is still going. For some reason, this isn't quite... The map in this game is weird, and I'll touch more upon it later, but you see this isn't quite conquered, but they're still blazing a path. I have some problems with the way the map works in this game and the way troops can move. Belfort is still... Well, actually, it's been pillaged. It's not under siege anymore. It looks like the forts have generally held off any and all German advances, except the Epinal forts here. However, Geneva and Lausanne are both under siege right now, as it looks like Germany is trying to drive right into southern France, which is certainly not ready for any such maneuver. I'm sure the British forces have landed somewhere around Calais, I'm willing to bet. Now we got to take a look at our thing. So Ivangorod has fallen. That's a huge shame. Not a lot I can do about it. Some more troops have unlocked, such as this army right here, which is poorly commanded. But I do have another corps that has unlocked, headed here, and another corps that has unlocked, headed here. And I hope to shuffle things around, make it an efficient force, and then put it on the offensive, probably down here. Over here, we no longer have to hold Tannenberg, so instead I'm sending all my troops to Lützen. They're not quite activated currently, so I can't try to bum rush it, but we're going to get there, and then maybe next turn we'll do an assault and try to take it over. Up here, we no longer have to hold... Well, we never had to hold Wehlau, we were just on the way to Königsberg. I'm going to actually retreat back to Kauno, which is going to take me 2 turns due to the activation checks. Hopefully it doesn't fall in that time. Hopefully, but we should hopefully intercept von Hindenburg over here, who has, and here's what I hate, gone past all of our troops, just slipped past them, just untouched, and found his way to this fort. I hate that that's a thing. There's all these other German troops that have also just slipped past our troops and haven't had to really deal with us. It's very small troops, really not big things to worry about, but definitely capable of doing damage in their own right. Very annoying that you can't just sit down somewhere and stop shit like this from happening, but you can't, and it's because there's rules in place that cause things like this. We have another army corps that has unlocked, and I'm moving it over here to Kascheder. Across the river from Kauno is a bit of a secondary defense, and it's just going to hold position right there and defend so nothing can come around, and that if they do take counter, they can't really cross without meeting some kind of resistance, be it little. I'm slowly starting to strengthen, very slowly, my HQ with some things, mainly just support units. Also an artillery unit, though. I'm also recruiting some things, like marine units, to send into my other troops, and some more cavalry. I'm hitting my limits on those units. Up here, we've also unlocked another army. In 2 turns, this army corps will unlock, and I'll probably meet up with it. But this army is railing down to Riga, I suppose. We'll arrive there exactly next turn, as kind of a northern defense against what the hell's happening over here. And I'm going to sick these guys on them and try to clean this area up, because really, if not for all these roaming units, this wouldn't be an issue. This would not be tough to deal with, but they're just all over the fucking place, and it's so annoying that the game works in such a way that you can get away with this. Our troops have unfortunately not attacked this unit. Maybe if I'd put them on the offense when they went through here, I was hoping they would just, do it, but they didn't. Oh well. That's a shame. I'm not going to try to do anything here. I'm going to hold position. I have another army corps that unlocked. It's going over to Rauno. And then I hope to try to counterattack at Dubno if possible. Dubno Fort still holds. Of course, it may just fall this next turn. I'm not in a position to attack with everybody here necessarily. Like this army group here in Lutsk can't really attack because there's a river and that would hurt. They could, I guess, if I sent everyone all at once, but I will at least put the army here. I could put everyone here on the offensive in case anything happens. Anyone tries to sneak through, we kind of encounter them and kick their butts. Our cohesion is fine enough that we can get away with that. This group is still kind of recovering. Still definitely needs munitions, I can tell you that much. And I don't think we have any munitions depots anywhere nearby. We had a depot here, which was nice. We have one here. Oh well. Down in Suzernowitz, we no longer have to hold this, so I'm going to step forward and try to immediately assault Kolomia. There's this army corps here, but it's so maneuverable and nimble. I don't want to try to engage it right now, because I'd have to cross a river and enter some pretty shitty terrain to do it. So I'm just going to move forward along this rail, headed towards Lemberg, I think, at least for now. And just do what damage I can to try to make them regret putting all their units up here. Maybe try to get them to get some units out of here. Maybe I'll just start, taking things of interest that I can. I have another army corps that I unlocked that I'm heading down here as kind of a rear guard. Maybe to deal with any flanking maneuvers. I mean, they have this regular and this supply unit over here. They have this army corps here. Anything can happen back here, so I figured I'll cover my ass. Otherwise, just a whole bunch of troop movements. Not a lot else going on. If we take a look at the diplomacy, you can see, yeah, we got Great Britain, France. What else is happening? Man, war weariness already in a lot of countries, in all countries. This is a constant thing. The longer the game goes on, the worse war weariness gets. I don't see a lot of... oh, here we go. So we both have diplomats in Belgium, of course. Central Powers has it in Holland, of course. Where's Japan? Japan. Here it is. 100% Entente. So they're not in the war just yet, but next turn they will 100% be in the war on the side of the Entente. They will be under the control of the Western Entente, so, the game's not going to get any easier for me, really, but I guess weakening my enemies is strengthening me. Thank God the Western Entente has sent something to Romania. If Romania joins the Central Powers, that's really going to hurt. The Central Powers are still trying to get Romania. Western Entente still trying to get Italy, but it's going to be a while. Bulgaria also being convinced by the Central Powers to join them. Leaning towards the Central Powers. These two countries, I really don't want them to join the Central Powers, but there's not a lot I can do. Being the Eastern Entente in this, it hurts, man. It really sucks, and it hurts. No decisions that I can make quite yet, so with that in mind and my recruitment kind of done off screen because there wasn't really a lot to it, we're just going to hit end turn and hope for the best. Alright, well, we already have a battle. A hospital unit I recruited was caught on the way to one of its units it was trying to meet up with and just fucking slaughtered. That sucks, but oh well. It was on evade combat too, but I guess it just got caught out. Nothing I can really do about that. Whole lot of troop movements are happening right now. I'm gonna have to really examine the map once this turn is over, because there's a whole lot of shit happening. And I believe they may either be strengthening or weakening some positions that I have my eye on. Alright, well, aside from one of my units getting caught out, nothing else actually happened. We took Konglomerat really without a fight. We don't have full military control over it, but we basically had military control over it. There were no structures to really assault. If there was, then the enemies retreated immediately. Which you can kind of get that information, but it's buried in a lot of other information. There is one scripted event this turn. When Great Britain entered the Great War, it brought its dominions into the war as well, including South Africa. A large number of the Boers who had fought the British a decade earlier had ancestral ties with Germany and little love for the British. Throughout 1914, loyal South African forces were tied down, suppressing revolts that occurred in Boer territory. So this is a Central Powers event. Now, last turn I forgot to mention what was happening in Serbia. The unit I had sent over here was headed to Belgrade, and by the looks of it, he's arrived. Yes. This Serbian army. This is the one. This is the one that arrived. And it looks like any Austrians that were here have retreated to where? I don't know. Maybe here? I don't see their commander anymore. There was also one here, but he's just gone. It's very strange. It's like they all just disappeared off the map, and I'm not sure what to think about that. That doesn't mean we can necessarily go on any offensive just yet. I know our main forces are, or should be, I don't know. No, they've like completely recovered from my botched offensive, so that's good. That's always pretty good. Now, down here, they, by the looks of it, have cleared almost all of their troops, most of their troops, not all of them, out of Ivangorod. That is crazy. They're sending them in all different directions. South, southwest, kind of filling up Poland here. Interesting. Very interesting. And over down here, even the Lodz remains pretty untouched. Now, over here, I was right. They are sending so many of their troops elsewhere over here. Like, they had way more troops over here, I'm pretty sure. I'm looking at it. Yeah. They've emptied this. This had way more, and they've just emptied it of troops. I'm not quite sure what to think about that, but it happened. So I can probably take this back. Good to know. Oh shit, here's where a lot of them went. Oh my. Well, I may have caught their attention. So we're gonna just take everything in here off the offensive for right now. You were never on the offensive. You guys are just going to remain. I know you guys have some recovering to do. There's a fort here, which has some defenses, which is nice. I don't know where they're going. They seem to have just wanted to go right here and then, like, stayed here. But this could lead to any number of problems. Does this have a depot? Yes. This doesn't have a depot. I have to kind of keep track of what's happening over here. I don't want to get outflanked by some massive fucking army here. And I don't want to advance with a massive army at my heels. Okay, so down in Serbia, I'm going to recruit some more units. Serbia's actually going well. I mean, it can't do much at the moment, but it's going well. It's becoming this little slumbering beast that the Austrians are kind of forgetting to poke. It seems they've retreated all their units in the area, but I'm going to give that a turn to figure that out. A lot of my militia units and maybe some reserve units, which maybe they are the militia ones, are finishing. I'm recruiting some mountaineers and some other things. I'm going to get them some more generals, I think, because I'm not going to have enough command points for all the units that I have recruiting. And so if I can have some more units elsewhere, that would definitely be helpful. And the more I can grow Serbia in the rear, I'm still recruiting Russian units, but the more I can grow Serbia in the rear while they're not even being attacked due to this ahistorical Austrian plan, the more of a threat Serbia and Montenegro can become to the backside of Austria. And really, that's what my war plan going forward now is. I'm fighting Austria. Eventually, I'm also going to be fighting the Ottomans. But that's a bridge I'll have to cross when I get to it. I did decide to keep this army here on the offensive because, quite frankly, with the terrain, I don't think these guys could catch me right now. And either way, there is a depot here. So I'd rather go and take this depot and figure out what this guy is doing later. This army corps, I'm actually going to rail forward into the fort and toss into the fort as a more defensive location. So, you know, something is actually there to hold off a little better against this should it attack the rear. So I don't just get an army corps obliterated. I was going to put him on defend and retreat, but I figure a fort is better than a river crossing. This city is not actually very important, and I have enough depots over here that it doesn't really matter that much. I am putting this army on the offensive now that this seems to have been mostly left alone by the Austrians. Dubno, I'm going to try to retake it. The army that was over here in Lutz, I'm going to send forward into Gorakov, where they ran over that other unit, and I'm going to sit them down because they're not even activated right now. Just going to sit them down and try to hold position, maybe engage what's there. Rara Ruska looks like it's going to be kind of taken back here by this small force, but ideally this will be retaken, and these two units will be ready to kind of go on the offensive towards Lemberg or go west to reinforce Poland. I'm going to sit this army, which I have reorganized with the 2 corps that arrived. Didn't even need the whole 2 corps. I'm going to sit them here for now. Let them mind their own business. It'd just be this defensive prong over here in Warsaw itself, kind of guarding any advance to the east towards Brest-Litovsk or north towards Lomza. I was going to attack Lotzin, but my guys have been in Germany for 2 months now, and their supply lines have not held up. So I'm actually going to just take some time to send them around to Osweiz, which is what a lot of the Austrian units I feel like are doing. They're going back to recover from 2 months of war plans gone nowhere, essentially. Or gone somewhere, but, you know, no supplies. I don't have the ammunition to take on what's here. And there is a size 1 fort here. Rather than just get my units slaughtered, I'm going to start going around. These units up here are also probably low on supplies. They're getting there. But, you know, they're on their way to Kauno, and they'll be there in a turn or two, really. Looks like the Germans also took Suwalki. They took a lot of these towns, but not the areas around them. So we're going to probably reclaim this on the way, I suppose. I might want to put someone on the offensive before then to make sure that we actually do. And up north, the army that I sent to Riga is now going to head to, I can't say that word, and in one turn I will send this army corps that will unlock to join them as well. My goal with them is to cut off the advance and meet any of the army corps and divisions here that are causing me any problems in the Baltics and push them south back towards eastern Prussia. That way, once I recover my own borders, I can try and push again towards just cities and not these temporary objectives, and once again try to, I don't know, make something over here. You know, deal with the Germans that are causing me such headaches. Ideally, I just need more troops headed down south, which is why I'm not sending what I was tempted to send, this army north into Prussia to kind of reinforce them. But I'm not feeling like making that potential mistake. And with that, my resources are spent. There's not much more to do at the moment, so we're going to hit end turn and see how it goes. I noticed this army that's here has disappeared, but it looks like they just went into the village for whatever reason, this army corps. So hopefully they won't cause us any problems. And hopefully we see a string of successes over here, and this army goes away, back to Lemberg, and goes and fucks itself, because I don't want it causing me any problems. Albeit, I do have an entire army down here with which to deal with it, and a straggling, is that the word? Yeah, army corps, and potentially 2 armies headed down this way after a hopefully good turn. So, the results of my little attacks up here may not even come in this turn, because most of those troops are deactivated. Unlike last turn, they were all activated, meaning they're moving really slowly, meaning they won't actually get to their locations until the end of the turn. It's a very slow game because of shit like that. It's not just you this happens to, it happens to the AI as well, so it's not like I'm just the one getting fucked over by this. I do wish the AI fought a little more sensically, though. You know, like they didn't send one unit over there, and just get all messed up in this weird ass, I don't know, mess of units everywhere. I hate the way they move. I wish they would move a little more organized, but oh well. Alright, we do have a battle here. It's over the Battle of Ivangorod Fort. So I actually did go ahead and move my troops that were in Lublin west to Ivangorod, since I noticed that they kind of abandoned it. And looks like we ambushed and completely wiped out an enemy cavalry division, at least. Although it seems that they have a lot more troops in here than that. There's apparently 56,000, which has me believe that a lot of their troops are actually inside the fort, which I don't think I had the recon that showed me that last turn. If I did, I totally glazed over it. That being said, yeah, we won this fight right here. They lost more than we did overall. They lost artillery. We didn't lose any artillery. That battle is a win. So, yay. We've gotten through almost the entire turn replay here without actually having anything important happen or notable. That was the first battle of any kind. Ivangorod is now under siege, whatever the case of who's defending that may be. And a lot of the Austrian forces are moving around. Which was in Gorakov over here, has fled south before we had a chance to arrive. This German force keeps moving around Thorn. They actually went down south for a moment. Don't know what the hell's happening there. Little sprinkles of German troops are entering. Don't know why. Don't know how. A lot of my troops are arriving. The Austrians were up here with this army, and they've moved south. And it looks like they're coming in for a battle. It looks like they're coming in for a battle against our southwestern forces as relative to the location of Belgrade. I did refrain from looking at the other fronts last turn, so let's take a look at them right now. If we look over at Switzerland, looks like Lausanne has not fallen, the size 5 city, but neither has Geneva? I don't know. But the railroad here is destroyed, probably by the Germans. They also destroyed the railroads over here and took this city of Lons, which means they're doing some funky going behind enemy lines shit over here too. Some raiding happening, so there's some troops on the front line over here for sure. And St. Mihiel is still in the hands of the Germans. I'm not seeing any sign of any counterattacks really taking place over here. I'm sure there's some fighting happening down here. I wish I could get some kind of war report, but sadly that is not a thing. Japan is 100% now a part of the Western Entente, which is awesome. I should take a look at the Ottomans. They are, oh, it hurts. They're 99% towards the Central Powers. Give it a turn or two and we will be fighting the Ottomans as well. And fighting the Ottomans is not going to be fun. Nothing about that is going to be fun. We're not going to be able to really keep good track of it, but over here is Japan. And they're going to start attacking places like they're already besieging this location, this fort, of course. And, you know, maybe down here in Bismarck, Insulin, all these Asian German colonies. There's also a map somewhere on the map for Africa. Yeah, right down here. And there's fighting happening, or should be fighting happening, down here in general as well. It's usually pretty quiet over here, though, because the troops that can move around Africa are strong enough to hold their position, but too weak to actually take another position. So it's its own war that goes on throughout the whole war. It's a whole fucking continent, of course. But if you actually could send more troops there, you would do a lot of damage. The movement time between these locations is insane, though. Absolutely batshit crazy insane. Like, it takes you, like, 5 turns just to get to another location, by which point, you know, you're out of supply, you're out of cohesion, everything's just falling apart. It is now early November of 1914. We've taken 5,600 German prisoners. The total lost men on our side has actually barely gone up, because we haven't had a lot of big battles recently. We're at about 152,000 total men lost. The Western Entente has lost, a staggering 400,000. Our combined losses are about 552,000. The Central Powers, however, have lost combined 571,000. So we're still winning in terms of losses, but we're not exactly doing that great. The Western Entente combat power on ground continues to rise. Their naval power seems to have fallen, but their land power continues to rise now with the addition of new allies such as Japan. Their national morale is holding steady at 87. Wish it would go up. The Central Powers has actually gone up by 1, likely because they've seen a victory over on the Western Front. I doubt we've inflicted the amount of casualties we're seeing on the Central Powers. I'm willing to bet we've inflicted about as much as we've lost, probably more than that. We've probably inflicted more like 200,000. We may have inflicted half of these losses for all we know. But if that's true, then the Central Powers is actually seeing a lot of success against the Western Entente right now, which hopefully it does not continue to. Our morale is currently the highest at 103. Our VP is at 2,308. It's going up 49 per turn. The Western Entente is going up 115 per turn. They're at 5,467. So overall, we have a good amount more VP than the Central Powers, whose is going up 130 a turn. Overall, I think we might be doing better than the Western Entente, which is scary to say because it doesn't look like they're doing very well at all. But maybe the winds will change. Maybe the Central Powers will do worse, but the moment the Ottomans get added, you're going to see these values. Land, combat power, the combat power of naval, everything. You're just going to see it skyrocket, and we're going to have a whole new front to fight on. And that's going to suck. But that is a nice, full episode we have right here. A little buggy, a little weird, and a little annoying. Not a whole lot actually getting accomplished, just dealing with the logistical difficulties of war. Some losses here and there, some gains here and there, and we'll see how it goes. But for now, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.